Good morning. Welcome to another day of I'll Be in the Barn. I keep saying changing the intake, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm just taking this intake and fuel rail off right now because when we put the engine in, we need to get behind where the intake is to put in a couple of bolts in the transmission, and it's a lot easier without the intake on it than it is with it on. So I'm going to take it off so that when we get the engine put in, we can put the other intake on it with the new gaskets. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intake bolts, 10 millimeter, I believe, 8 millimeter like I said, and 8 millimeter on the fuel rail, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the passenger side of the intake. If I want to take off the coil packs, I have 10 millimeters up here on top to take those off. But I think I'm going to go with the fuel rail, and the intake is all I'm going to take off. Pretty easy job. First thing we'll do is take off the fuel rail. Makes it easier to get to all the bolts on the intake. So there's the 4 bolts from the fuel rails. Go ahead and take this vacuum line off of here. And take this, I want to take that sensor off. Yeah, why not? Put the other one back on it. I'll keep this in case it goes bad on the other truck. Also, there's a, don't matter because I'm using another throttle body. Alright. Get something to pull that hose off of there. Got a homemade pick around here somewhere. You guys don't know, but that was like 20 minutes looking for this pick right here. Through the magic of video, you didn't see me, but my wife put it where it's supposed to be. That's why I couldn't find it. She's very good at that. So I'll just slide this underneath the hose right here, loosen it up. And she'll come right off. Perfect. Okay. So I will set the pick behind me on this table, and if my wife comes out, it'll probably end up back where it's supposed to be, which is where it should be. That used to be a screwdriver, so I turned it into a pick because it's pretty much a junk screwdriver. And I always bend my pick tools, and that one's pretty strong. Fuel rail is loose. Fuel rail should come off. I'm thinking I don't have to pull the clips to get, there we go. Fuel rail. I'm going to keep those injectors in case for some reason injectors go bad. Get these bolts off the intake side, or the driver's side of the intake. Excuse me, that's the passenger side of the intake. And I'm on the driver's side. And I believe that's it. Loose, make sure they're all loose. Yep, there we go. Did I forget anything? Yes, I did. This line going here to the throttle body. So the last thing I got is to pull this clamp and take this hose off. And my channel locks were right where my wife put them, right where they should be.
Here we go.
And there's the intake, and there's still something hooked. I can feel it. I don't know what it is. Don't see it. Ah. Makes sense. Got a little clip on that plug right there. And I thought that hose was disconnected, and it is. There we go. So there's some good parts still on this intake. I'll keep it. I will definitely put some rags in these holes and blow this off, clean it up, and it'll be ready to be installed. Okay, I got one more thing to do. You can see I shoved a glove in all the holes of the intake there, so I can blow that off, clean it up a little bit, and I need to clean that all off for put the new intake manifold on. Anyhow, if anybody knows where I can get any of these man-size 2XL gloves for cheap, right there. Where is it? Yeah. $2XL man-size gloves for cheap. I would appreciate it. And leave me a comment. I'd like to get some 3XLs because I got a bunch of right-handed gloves, very few left-handed gloves, because I'm right-handed, but I grab everything with my left hand, and sometimes when I squeeze it, I always blow out the dang pinky finger on them. So they ain't no good when you're welding and stuff, because you know, all the sparks go down in there. Oops. Well, here I am working on my son's Silverado again. I got the new engine set down in there as I showed you. I got to take some of these hoses off that we had already taken off the other engine. I take them out of the way so that I can get the air conditioning back up here and get the motor set in. My buddy Kevin may be over this afternoon. I don't know. He's working on his motorhome, but I need to get this finished. And I know a lot of people out there saying anybody can change a motor by themselves. Well, you're right, you can, but it's a lot funner and a lot easier when you got somebody helping you. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Like I said before, my tripod ain't big enough to hold this bad boy up in the air, so I'm going to go ahead and get these heater hoses off the water pump right there. Pop those off. And hopefully I can get this air conditioner back out of the way so I can move this engine around here and get it into the transmission. Okay, we got the transmission all bolted up. Now we're going to pick it up a little bit so we can get this air conditioning pump back on here. We know we can do it without with the transmission hooked up because that's how we took it out. So we got that picked up. We're going to put it down in there and bolt it up. We got the air conditioner on, and way down there we got the motor mount bolts in. Now I'm going to climb underneath and put the torque converter bolts in while Kevin turns the crank. Alright, getting ready to put the intake on. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Get the new gaskets out and put on there. I use a little bit of brake cleaner. I don't have very much, so I hope I got enough. Of course, it's snowing today. I like it where they want me to drive town. Like any other day, later in the year. Or it ain't like any other day. Obviously, Puxatawny Phil was wrong. Because spring is here and it's still snowing. I heard Woody Woodchuck said it was going to be extended, so maybe Woody's right. We all know that it's always 6 weeks of winter left after the groundhog does or does not see his shadow, so it is springtime now. And sometimes it snows. I remember ice storm on April 1st, not that long ago. So anyway, got that cleaned up. Let me get the other gaskets. I've used this stuff on boiler gaskets, O-rings, all kinds of things. I don't know if it helps, but they don't leak, so it must help some way. I'll put this on, oh no, I didn't pull the injectors out of this, never mind. I was going to say I'll put some of this on the O-rings of the injectors, but since they're still in the new motor, I won't have to do that. Just give it a thin coating. It's a Molly coat, is what it's called. You start 111. All right. Let's get this bad boy on there. Oh, boy. Too old to get on the floor, that's for sure. All right, I found all my bolts. Got them on. See if I can't get this up here without losing them. I gotta put a ground strap on before I put this stupid thing on here. I almost forgot about it.
Just not a good spot, you know what I mean? What's ground here? Yeah, here's the thing that everybody can't fix your crap. I'm just trying to don't things up we can't. Look, that's not I don't can't. There, alright.
Sure, the torque specs on these aren't too high, but I am going to torque it to specs. I'll have to look them up, but otherwise I just freaking drive them down there and call it good. But since it's plastic, I better get it kind of close. If I put my gun on minimum, it will be kind of close. Alright, got that on there. I'm going to go ahead and look up torque specs and torque them down. Okay, right there's the order for the torque. Right there it says 44 inch-pounds on the first pass, 89 inch-pounds on the second time around. This is for this is I think a first gen LS, the 5.3 liter. So that's what we got right there. Let me turn it sideways. Now it's really small. Turn it back. There you go. And of course the arrow is pointing toward the front of the engine. So you start at number 1 on the passenger, number 2's on the driver, and so on and so forth. Again, 44 inch-pounds on the first pass, 89 inch-pounds on the second. Get my little inch-pound torque gun, or yeah, my little inch-pound torque wrench, and we'll torque them down. Well, it looks to me like I'm just going to guess, because my inch-pound wrench don't start till 100 inch-pounds. And of course my foot-pound one don't start till 20, so it's only like 3.5 foot-pounds, a little bit more. So I'm just going to kind of snug them down.
That sounds good to me. Yep.
Perfect. It ain't coming off, I'll tell you that right now. Alright, we got that on. I'm going to get the, the power steering pump and the alternator back on. Well, I don't know why I wasn't thinking the injectors were out of this engine, because I had to change the whole fuel rail, because the 2004 and 2003 are different. 2004 has only one fuel line coming in. The 2004 has two fuel lines coming in. So I just changed the whole rail, injectors, put the old injectors from the other engine back in here. So like I said, I don't know why I was thinking the injectors weren't getting changed, or why they were still in this motor. So I did lube them up a little bit, lube the O-rings up. So I'm going to try and slip it up in there. Gotta switch you guys to the other side, because otherwise my butt will be right in your way, and that's not a pretty sight. I just need to set down there and just push the injectors down the holes, and then I got to get the bolts and bolt down the fuel rail. And then I got a lot of wires to hook up and a couple fuel lines, but they just push right on. That may be backwards. It is backwards. So while I was putting the clips on, I accidentally spun that around. Now it is correct. I'm like, man, them don't seem like they're going to go the right direction to go in the hole. And they won't be able to bolt down. But go in the right direction they will. Should have brought a light up here with me so I can see what the heck I'm doing. I'm pretty sure they're all in the holes on this side.
Oh, I didn't forget anything before I put this in here.
Alright, got the fuel rails in. Okay, next thing we have is connect these fuel lines over here. I don't know if you can see them way in the back there. Right there. One goes on top, one goes on bottom. I'm going to say this one goes on the top because it's bigger and they fit. So there we go. Alright, now I got a bunch of wires to hook up. Now I got to connect the coil packs and the injector wires and all them wires up on top, vacuum hoses. I'll get all that done so I can crawl up inside the motor still, and then I'll put on the steering gear and the alternator. Okay, we got all the grounds hooked up, all the wires hooked up, injectors in, throttle bodies hooked up, purge valve, evap valves hooked up. I had to fix it. My wife's looking to see if I missed anything else, because I did miss a ground over here on the passenger side, and we ended up, that was okay because I had to move the ground that I put there anyway for the engine. And now we're for real gonna put in the alternator and the power steering pump. So I got one wire right there that's gonna go on the top of the alternator. I got one over here, goes on map sensor or mass airflow, I don't know what you call it. And then all these wires down here that go to the battery and the alternator and all that good stuff. And we just need to throw some oil in it. After I hook up the heater hoses, put some oil in it, put some antifreeze in it, put the radiator in it. Should fire up. Okay, we got the alternator and the power steering pump back in and hooked up, all the wires hooked up, and now we're going to put the radiator back in. Okay, I just finished putting the serpentine belt on, the AC belt I had to go pick up today. Finished filling it with oil, put the fan shroud back on, put the intake back on, the air intake. Plugged in the last plug-in that needed to be plugged in over here on the map sensor, or MAF sensor, whatever the heck this one is. Been putting some antifreeze in it. It's been bubbling down. I'm gonna put a little more in it. Gonna throw the battery in it. Gonna start it. It's gonna run like a champ. And then I'm going to check for oil leaks, check for radiator leaks, and yeah, radiator leaks, check for coolant leaks, and then I will finish. I'll warm it up, get the fan going on high, and get the dang coolant filled up. And then Monday, when my buddy's off work, he can help me put the hood back on, and my son is off work on Monday also. So it's up there on top of the roof. He can come over here and pick it up. Or he can come over here and help me put the hood back on and then take it home. Whichever. So let's get this battery put in and start her up. Here's the moment of truth. Let's find out if she's going to fire like she's supposed to fire. Got good oil pressure, charging. Gauge looks like it's a little off on the temperature, but maybe not. Maybe it's warming up because it ain't got enough fluid in it yet. I don't know. Alright, got her fired up. I'm going to check her out now. There's no leaks that I can see. Going to let it set a minute, check the oil. Then I'm going to have to clear me a path so I can drive it out of here, because I don't want to sit in the pole barn with the truck running and choke myself to death. Then I wouldn't be able to do any more videos. I'm going to do that and get the coolant system filled up, and hopefully I can get back on the old Bronkenstein. So thanks for watching. Until next time, when I'll be in the barn.